Hey y'all, I'm Emily Bassett. I'm going to talk to you about everything you need to know about the guest lists and invitations for your wedding. I'm a CMP, certified meeting professional, and have been in the event industry for over 8 years. If I don't answer your questions during this video, please leave a comment below and I'll respond to you directly so that I can answer that for you. So the first thing you want to do is think about who do you want to invite to your wedding. I would recommend, if you plan on ordering your invitations online, finding that invitation first, because 9 times out of 10 on that website, there's a template that you can use where you'll go ahead and start your invitation list and upload directly, so it's an easy click of a button to order those invitations. So use that document. It's typically Excel format, and just start brainstorming everyone you want to invite to your wedding. Think about family, your wedding party, your friends, any other circles you have. If you have a church group, if you have coworkers you might want to invite, and make sure to include bride and groom side as well. The next thing you want to think about is, are you inviting plus ones to the wedding? In some cases you may want to, but I would think individually about each of those people who you think might have a plus one. Do you know who their plus one is, or is it someone they're in a long relationship with where they should be invited to the wedding, or is it just a random date? And do they really need to be invited to your wedding or not? Another thing to think about is, will this person know other people at the wedding? If not, it might be nice to go ahead and give them a plus one. You'll also want to think about if you're going to invite kids to the wedding. So be sure to include those who you want to be invited when you're brainstorming all of this. After that, I would go through your list and see if this is truly who you think you might want to invite. Add up how many people this is. And then you want to think about, is this number realistic? If you've selected your venue already, you'll want to make sure that the capacity of the venue can hold this number of people. If not, this is where you may want to start cutting down your list. Another thing to think about is the cost of a wedding. On average, it's about $100 per person to attend a wedding. So again, if the price is a little out of your range, this is something you're going to want to consider cutting your numbers down on. If you're still struggling to cut down on your numbers, think about, have you seen this person within the past 2 years? If not, then maybe they shouldn't be invited. Or do you plan on meeting up with them in the near future? If not, then maybe they shouldn't receive an invitation. You kind of just need to weigh your pros and cons and see where you end up. Talk to your family to see if they have any big concerns about not inviting someone or inviting someone. It may be worth skipping the drama to just send out one extra invitation. Now let's talk about the actual invitations and the process of what that looks like. So often you'll receive a save the date in the mail. These usually go out about a year in advance. Here's an example of the one that we used for our wedding. You want to make sure to include the date of the wedding so people know when it's taking place, so they can actually go ahead and put it on their calendar in advance. You want to include the location. If they're having to travel, they need to know that location in advance so they can make sure they can get to your wedding. This is also a great time to put a wedding website on your save the date. If that's something you're interested in doing, it's a great way to give attendees a sneak peek at what you're wanting to share with them in advance. Again, save the date is not a have to, it's an extra if you want to, but I do recommend it if you are requiring people to travel to your wedding. Now the actual invitation should go out about 6 to 8 weeks in advance. If you're having a destination wedding or you're skipping the save the date, I would send this out earlier. I would recommend about 4 months in advance so people can arrange on their calendars to get to your wedding. Here's an example of our invitation. I'll just read to you what it says so you can see what we included, and I'll tell you why I recommend doing it this way. So it says, Mr. and Mrs. Joe Heisel request the honor of your presence at the marriage of their daughter, Emily Grace Heisel, to Zachary James Bassett on December 2nd at 5:30 p.m. ceremony and reception at Rustic Grace with the address. We kept it short and simple so people could put this on their fridge, know when it is, where it is, and not forget. Now, one of the most important things I think is including an RSVP card with your invitation. You can do this now online where you can have people go to a website and RSVP there, but to me that's a lot of steps and you don't get a great response rate. you'll often be calling people on the phone, are you attending my wedding? It's past the RSVP date, we don't know if you're gonna be there. And it's awesome if you can avoid that step because you have so many things on your mind. So making it easy for the attendee to RSVP is great because you will make it a lot smoother. So for example, what we included, we had a buffet, so we didn't include anything about food here. If you are doing a plated meal, this is where you would want to place options of, are you having chicken, beef, or vegetarian? So we kept it short and simple. Kindly respond by certain date, which should be 1 month in advance of your wedding date. We left a line here so they could write their names of who's attending. And then we have a place where it says accepts with pleasure or declines with regret, and number of attending. This will help clarify exactly how many people are attending from this invitation. Sometimes whoever you're inviting, one person is traveling, can't make it, one person is staying back for whatever reason, so you want to just be clear. Or if you invited kids to the wedding, they may not want to bring their kids. They may want it to be a date night. So again, this is a great way to just clarify who is attending your wedding. I would also recommend on your invitation writing out the names of who you're inviting. If you're not inviting kids, don't write their names on the invitation. If you're not giving them a +1, only write their name on the invitation and not a guest's name. Now, if you do invite a +1, I would recommend, if you know who that +1 is, write their name on it, don't write and guest. Now, if you're just giving someone an extra guest to attend with them at the wedding, then it's fine to write that, but really clarifying who you're inviting to the wedding on the invitation will definitely help you know exactly who will be showing up. If I didn't answer all of your questions, again, please comment below and I'll be happy to respond. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please give it a like, subscribe, and I'll see you at the next one.